Utah State on top of Texas Tech. Second half on the way now on CBS Sports Network to decide our third place finisher in the Cancun Challenge 2016. Thad Anderson, Doug Gottlieb. We talked about Jalen Moore before the game. He played, 14 minutes, scored 15 points, 6 of 8 from the floor in the first half.
He was outstanding when he was in the game, and they had complete control of the game when Jalen Moore was in the game. It started, obviously, with three-point shooting, and I think that gave him confidence in the rest of his game. And here's the first three he got, good balance up, and scored. Once that happened, I think the rim looked bigger and bigger and bigger. We saw a little post game from him going over his left and his right shoulder. I thought Jalen Moore offensively gave us everything we could desire. The problem became after this step-through move for a layup, he was saddled with 2 fouls. Tim Duryea chose to sit him, and the team kind of collapsed and couldn't find offense when he wasn't in the game.
There are the numbers around Jalen Moore in the first half of action. Moore is back out there, part of the Aggies defense that will look at the first possession by Texas Tech to start the second half. Evans handles it. Keenan Evans lobs, and Zach Smith, fourth dunk of his trip to Cancun Challenge.
Did he step on, was he a pogo stick? Did he step on a trampoline?
Leap off of a defensive lineman's back.
I mean, that was, like anytime you look up at a hoop, it's going to look higher than it actually is. It's an old visual trick. You shoot a dunk from the man.
Slash to the basket, bucket for Shane Rector. This pass bounces out of bounds. Texas Tech on the run. Devin Thomas misconnected with Justin Gray.
And they run this little ball screen and roll and lift on the weak side. Wow, man, his head was. And like, look, if you ever shot a picture of your buddy dunking on a dunk hoop, you know, and you want to make it look cool, you shot it from a low angle, so it makes it look like you're jumping through the. But he's jumping through the roof.
And now he's got the basketball, lost it as he went up, and a whistle.
All right, so let's see how close to the rim it actually came. Right, so, I mean, that's a little bit after the pull-up. And again, this is from the low angle, but I felt like it was pretty close to the rim.
Foul on the way into the basket. Gore Barnaba, second foul for Barnaba. Zach Smith at the free throw line. He has not been there yet tonight. He hits his first try. He'll get one more. Smith 10 points now in this game. A couple of rebounds. For Zach Smith, he's been dunking and wowing the crowd at Hard Rock Hotel Riviera Maya. He hits both free throws. Had 7.3 rebounds per game last season, most for a Texas Tech player since Cliff Owens back in 2000, 2001. And his 92 blocks through a couple of seasons, most ever at Texas Tech, 92 blocks through 2 seasons. Zach Smith, now a junior. Hasn't been blocking shots down here in Cancun, but he's been the most flair on the floor that the fans here in Cancun have seen. Janasek works through defense and scores. Livingston's pass pinballs around and last touched by Utah State. Texas Tech keeps it. That was an 18, or let me check that. That run was a 15-3 run down the stretch of the first half. Texas Tech outscored Utah State 15-3 to make it a 2-point game at halftime. Texas Tech again subbing. It's Giovanni McLean.
McLean, we mentioned, didn't play last night. Fifth-year transfer from Quinnipiac, where he averaged about 13 a game. He gave him good minutes in the first half.
Up it goes, Justin Gray. Red Raiders living around the rim.
Small pass there from Zach Smith.
Anna Smith shares the love, getting some rim hanging. And we're tied at 36. tuning up for our championship of the Cancun Challenge. Auburn and Purdue waiting in the wings. Got a good one here in the third place game. Fouled inside, moving to the basket, Kobe McEwen.
Watch this interior passing as Gio McLean just comes in moving the basketball, and no one's guarding Justin Gray. And he, like Zach Smith, is a spectacular athlete.
Utah State was hanging up the assists early. Now the sharing of the basketball. 7 assists for Texas Tech on their 13 buckets. Utah State has 9 assists on 14 field goals. Foul for Texas Tech, the second personal for Anthony Livingston. He has 2.
Well, let's see if McEwen can come alive. We mentioned how highly touted a prospect he was last night. Had some ACC offers. The Canadian who spent his time prepping at Wasatch Academy in Utah. We really need him to show a little bit of maturity here against an old, physical, tough-minded Texas Tech team.
Kobe McEwen, good visit to the line. Put his team back on top by 2. Utah State clinging to that lead. They're leading by as many as a dozen points in the first half. Livingston with the shot clock at 7. Bounced it off too strong. A rebound foul, and looks like Rector bumped Justin Gray.
Now, Gray sold it a little bit, plus he was elevated, but I'm not really sure there's much Shane Rector can do. Rector just trying to box him out. Watch Rector double zero. I mean, WWE is I know he wants to be an orthopedic surgeon, but Justin Gray's got a little future in WWE between the hair and the sale of that flop.
Zach Smith steps it out, missed the shot. Gray battling for it, and Justin Gray tipped it out of bounds. Utah State basketball. Into the forecourt, Aggies trying to keep that offensive pressure up. Rector missed it. Janasek rebounds.
Nope.
No good on the 3. Jalen Moore sticks back the miss by McEwen.
Nothing will upset Chris Beard more than giving up 2 offensive rebounds as he immediately goes to his bench.
Too many chances for Utah State. They move out to a 4-point lead. Zach Smith ducks under and scores around Janasek.
He's been outstanding. And Zach Smith's been really kind of the focal point of the Tech offense at times here in the consolation game.
Jalen Moore turns around, too strong on the 3. Livingston has the rebound. His 3rd of the game to go with 11 points for Anthony Livingston. Quick shot is no good. Utah State's going to run it back. Now back and forth. 3 Red Raiders waiting to check in. Matthew Temple at the score table, along with Shadell Millinghouse and Devin Thomas, all awaiting a stop. Justin Gray gives it back to Livingston, who reverses and scores. Chris Beard says bring some pressure. From the corner, Gore Barnaba, no good. Livingston was fouled by Janasek.
No, we saw the offensive rebound as Jalen Moore continues to add to his point total. But not to be outdone, Zach Smith has been doing work. The Red Raiders tied things up here in Cancun. Texas Tech has found their way back into this game behind Anthony Livingston, the transfer from Arkansas State. Played for John Brady at Ark State before transferring in here and playing for Chris Beard. The lefty is known more as a shooter, but he's also played like that wily veteran, showing the ability to score around the hoop, shot fakes, and getting extra possessions, driving in. He might be a below the rim guy, but heck, aren't we all? Especially when you look like you're 40, play like you're 40. Smart old man basketball has been working for Anthony Livingston.
13 points on 5 of 9 shooting, those 4 rebounds. That total equaled 13 points by Zach Smith. So a couple of guys with 13 each for Texas Tech. Zach Smith is 5 of 6 from the floor. Hit both of his free throws. The 2 key contributors tonight, Livingston and Smith, 26 of the team's 40 points, enough to forge a tie with Utah State with 14.5 minutes now remaining in the Cancun Challenge 3rd place contest. Matthew Temple hands it off. Jumper is good for McLean. First lead since 10-9 was the score. Just over 17 minutes left in the first half. First time Texas Tech has had the lead since about 3 minutes into this game. Insult to injury, McLean is going to get called for the foul and get bumped in the face. Hard Rock Hotel Riviera Maya, the all-inclusive host of the Cancun Challenge. Enjoy a rockstar getaway with lavish rooms, world-class dining, and stunning tropical views. You can start your all-inclusive experience. Visit hrhrivieramaya.com. Officials going to the monitor to review that contact. Giovanni McLean being checked out. He recoiled on the contact. Looks like he's trying to shake that off and dismiss the attention. And so we get the review for Texas Tech. Their coaching staff, Chris Beard, joined by Mark Adams, Chris Ogden, Al Pinkins, all in their first year. Here's another look at that last collision.
Oh, that looked like a pretty good rip. And he got an elbow to the head, but it was not intentional. And that's as unintentional as they possibly get. And Gio McLean was called for a reach. He ends up getting a bow.
Just a head and an elbow occupying the same space at the same time.
Well, look, a couple years ago they instituted, and it's interesting, we have Purdue later on tonight, right? The rule, the elbow rule, was really because of Purdue. Chris Kramer, who's a tough player who played for Purdue, he got elbowed by Manny Harris of Michigan. And the whole basketball world said enough of this, cleaning out space. Well, part of it was Purdue. They used to teach their players, every time your man catches the ball, you need to touch his jersey, let him know you're there. If you're that close, occasionally you're going to catch a bow. And so we kind of overreacted with the rule that's since been adjusted.
Wow. Spinning it home. Doing some magic while falling to the floor, Kobe McEwen. Ties it back up at 42, the preseason co-freshman of the year in the Mountain West, Kobe McEwen.
Well, watch Kobe McEwen. This is, if you ever get kind of caught up, you just spin the ball as much as you can and hope it creates the English to go in. Up and under, use the rim to protect you from the shot blocker, Justin Gray, and nothing wrong with getting a little lucky on a roll.
8 points for McEwen, second most on the Aggies' scoring total tonight, with Moore leading with 17 points, Jalen Moore. Jumper good. There's the guy who's leading now in scoring for Texas Tech. 15 tonight for Zach Smith. Texas Tech has fought their way back from a dozen-point deficit, and they keep answering when Utah State scores. Here the Aggies won't score. Smith rebounded, and Janasek fouled him. Double check, they might have, yeah, they didn't give it to Janasek. They called that Utah State foul against Alex Dargenton. His first foul, Dargington. Tim Duryea, we just talked about the staff for Texas Tech. For Tim Duryea, second season as the head coach. Associate head coach Tarvis Felton, been there 9 years. Lewis Wilson, second year. And Spencer Nelson, first year. Spencer, part of the Utah State Hall of Fame for his days doing it for the Aggies. Thanks to both of these staffs for bringing their groups down here.
Spencer was a tremendous player. You mentioned Lewis Wilson, former head coach at Adams State. Played at Southern Utah.
Jumper missed by Anthony Livingston. Texas Tech keeps it alive. Off on the three from McLean. Utah State has it. Gray blocked it back off the body of Jalen Moore, out of bounds to Texas Tech.
And Jalen Moore is he's just inexperienced as a perimeter player. And as much as I knew Stu Morrow when he was the head coach, he said, well, he's playing out of position, playing the four, but it's kind of what he's always been, mismatch. When you play against Texas Tech, a Big 12 team, whether you're playing the three or the four, they're much more athletic at both the small forward and power forward spot.
Livingston ready to shoot, missed it.
And he had trouble with his timing and needs another dribble to get to the basket.
Kick out. Shot on the way, no good. Pretty good distribution there by Julian Perry. Shot off the mark.
And Julian Perry is probably their most consistent perimeter player.
Zach Smith got that down. Smith, a new season high. Previous season high in points was 11 against North Texas in the middle of November. He's got 17 tonight. That's just 6 points off his career high. Smith scoring well. At the next whistle, another 50% personnel change. 3 Aggies, 2 Red Raiders waiting to check in. Whistle, Jalen Moore draws a foul.
Zach Smith has been taken over for Texas Tech. The Red Raiders, who were down 12 in the first half, now lead by 4. They're in.
Texas Tech leading Utah State 46-42 in the second half of this Cancun Challenge third place game. Shooting splits in the first half. Utah State outshot the Red Raiders, but look at that in the second half. More than 20 points better for Texas Tech shooting the basketball.
That's because Texas Tech's had a Zach attack. Zach Smith trying to tear off the rim again in the first half. You know, his mom was a great athlete. Mom Linda lettered in both basketball and volleyball at Arkansas Little Rock. Dad helped Arkansas Little Rock to a Sweet 16. Brother Xavier played at St. Bonaventure and Tarleton State. He comes from an athletic family, and we know he's a tremendous athlete, but he's shown the versatility to score a little bit at the block. And, of course, that face-up game is what allows Texas Tech to have the lane wide open while he's playing both the power forward and kind of some center positions.
At the line and converting the first one, Jalen Moore, now 18 points in the game. Sam Merrill waiting to check in. If Jalen Moore makes this, Merrill will replace
So here's my issue with Tim Duryea kind of protecting Jalen Moore in the first half with 2 personal fouls. And he's going to get him a quick breather. Is he still has 2 personal fouls. It's like he's a smart senior. You have to know your personnel and be willing to risk. Leave him out there with 2. You get 5. Just because you have 2 is not the death knell. And they allowed Texas Tech back in this game when they're up 12 when he got 2 personal fouls.
19 points for Jalen Moore. He heads to the bench, and Utah State plays defense. Down by 2. Livingston is good, and another bucket down. 15 points now for Anthony Livingston.
And Sam Merrill and Alexis Dargington just got confused. You got him, I got him, nobody's got him. Levin Thomas tried to draw a charge.
Texas Tech sends in Thomas Brandsma for Justin Gray.
I love the Brandsma story. That's like one of the all-time stories, right? Your coach is at 4 schools and you follow him to every school?
Wherever you're
it's
going,
amazing.
Coach. You think you would have ended up at UNLV?
I don't know. That's a good question. Probably would have been messy paperwork. No. I want to transfer to Texas Tech, not UNLV.
There's the replacement to Jalen Moore from a moment ago, and he scores it. Sam Merrill replaces Moore's scoring with 2 there.
Of course, just off his Mormon mission from Bountiful, Utah. They expect Sam Merrill to be part of that bright future of the USU program.
Sam, a freshman, has 5 points in 11 minutes. Up and down, Zach Smith again. No stopping Smith inside. And you've documented the hops. We've seen it in replay video. 11 on 11 here, and the miss. Dargenton couldn't score it over Smith. Texas Tech up by 4, looking to go up by more. Their largest lead was 5 early in the first half. Now their largest lead is 6, and again, it's Anthony Livingston.
Now, Zach Smith has been taking over this game as Anthony Livingston cleaning up a little laundry. And poor Quinn Taylor, when he comes in off the bench, you know, he went on his Mormon mission to Brazil, but he just got baptized in Cancun.
Holiday Hoops presented by Citizen Watch. Texas Tech fans like that 6-point advantage on the scoreboard. Largest lead of the night for the Red Raiders.
I mean, such a smart move. Is when he couldn't get Quinn Taylor the first time, he got him the second time. Taylor raises up and did a pretty good job initially of defending, but just can't move laterally with the more athletic Zach Smith, who has really been a dominant player here for the Red Raiders in the second half.
8 different players have scored for Texas Tech. However, 36 of their 52 points have come from Smith and Livingston. 19 points for Smith on 8 of 9 shooting. And Livingston with 17 points on 7 of 13 from the floor.
Rhett Sealby tweeted me and said Brandsma did in fact sign with UNLV.
So there you have it.
So he originally played for Chris Beard at McMurray, at Angelo State, Little Rock, and for 2 weeks UNLV.
Yeah, did he work him out or something? That counts then. It's on the board. Yeah. Brett, good knowledge.
Appreciate that.
That's pretty cool. That just makes the story even cooler. 6 seconds to shoot and a collision on the baseline. Livingston goes to the floor after a tangle with Julian Perry. Evans is indicated for the foul, which is the first for Evans. Zach Smith quickly back on the floor. Brandsma leaves. Quick shot is no good for Sam Merrill. Rebounded for Texas Tech.
Beautiful little inbounds play for a flare screen. Just Merrill's got to step in and make it. He knows, he clapped his hands. You know, that was just too good a look to miss.
Texas Tech a +5 on the glass, 24-19. Red Raiders winning the rebound tally. Three seconds to shoot. Got it away, but hit nothing, and they're going to stop it on a shot clock violation.
That's big time. That's big time defense from Utah State. You know, the staff has really at some point questioned Utah State's toughness. They won on the road at UC Irvine to start the year. That was a little bit of fool's gold. UC Irvine didn't have their best player. But because of how badly they were beaten up by Purdue, they want to know if their team was tough enough. And Texas Tech's kind of pushed them around here in the second half. That was a big, big stop to get defensively.
Just across the timeline, Rector.
I don't like where Norbert Janicek is catching the ball there, just past the midcourt line.
Now Gray takes it away. Look out, rim. Zach Smith, how about that one? Score it. What's Zach holding up? A 9 on the dunk from Justin Gray. Timeout, Oh, nope, not timeout.
And Julian Pierre.
Hold on, no timeout taken.
Do I want to make this pass? Do I not want to make that pass? No, you do not. Justin Gray throwing down. Red Raiders up 8.
Texas Tech up by 8 on Utah State, 54-46. Just under 8 minutes to go, third place game at the Cancun Challenge. Hard Rock Hotel Riviera Maya hosting this Cancun Challenge. Time for the Hard Rock Hotel Riviera Maya all-inclusive play of the game.
All right, we'll get Zach Smith tipping the basketball out, staying active. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? All right, Devin Thomas drives in, finds Zach. Reward the big fella's effort to get you an extra possession. We had an offensive rebound. We had patience. We had an assist. We had a slam dunk. That's an all-inclusive play.
Hard Rock Hotel Riviera Maya all-inclusive play of the game. Devin Thomas feathery pass up to Zach Smith. Thanksgiving night, CBS Sports Network is in Botswana for an all-new season of The World's Strongest Man. Witness incredible feats of strength from the stunning African countryside. Tomorrow, 8 Eastern, right here on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. I'm not sure why she's biting her nails. It's gotten a lot better for Texas Tech. The Red Raiders fans still hoping they can finish this off, but they've turned it around after trailing by a dozen to Utah State earlier. Chris Beard checking the notes.
The problem with Utah State is they're not attacking this press to score. They're allowing it. They're not just come back and setting it up. You need to attack Texas Tech. Texas Tech too good in the half court defensively. They have to grind out possession after possession.
Texas Tech, possibly the oldest team in the country, still tabulating the math on that, but a veteran roster. Livingston got in front of Rector, and it's going to be Livingston's foul. Should be his third on the night. How about Livingston last night against Auburn? 1 of 8 from the floor, 3 points.
And remember, they're playing without Aaron Ross.
Yeah.
Senior, leader. Tweaked his leg a little bit. They're holding him out for precautionary reasons.
Yeah, Ross last night had 17 points and 5 boards. Went 6 for 11 in 32 minutes, so opened up a little gap, and Livingston ran through it to help lead the way tonight.
Big
shot good for Rector.
Big shot for Rector. They need some offense here. As Jalen Moore has gone silent, someone else has to step up and make shots for the Aggies. Aggies going small, Moore back at the power forward position. We'll see if he can get loose in the perimeter against Livingston.
Here goes Zach Smith.
He's too quick for
him. Shimmies and scores.
They have to switch that matchup. Genesek cannot guard Zach Smith. Smith just too quick, too athletic, as opposed to Livingston.
Rector missed it, chased down his miss, got it to Jalen Moore, who's blocked by Zach Smith. Gray.
That's a charge.
Offensive foul. Good setup in the lane, drawing the foul, the freshman Kobe McEwen.
I mean, here's what I mean. I don't think this is Norbert Janicek's fault. He's just not quick enough. They need to switch this matchup. Livingston needs to be covered by Janicek. And then down at the other end, nice pass inside, although it's got dropped, and somehow Zach Smith stays in the air long enough to block that shot.
Millinghouse on the floor. Justin Gray picked up his 3rd foul. There goes Gray, replaced by Brandsma. Jalen Moore to inbound with some pressure from Texas Tech again.
So now attack, attack, attack. Don't bring it out.
Texas Tech slowly pulling away from Utah State. Aggies need some offense. Jalen Moore with a fall down from Brandsma. Moore puts it in. He's up and over 20 points, 21 in the game.
I got to admit when I'm wrong. I was wrong. I like the idea, though, in the half-court set of getting the ball to your best player where he's most comfortable. And obviously right now it's the block for Jalen Moore.
Down to Temple, who scores. Bucket for Texas Tech by Matthew Temple. Walk-on in 2015, awarded a scholarship in June of this year.
Yeah.
2-time fraternity recreation champions
Yeah, he was
Delta Dallas, Cal Delta.
He was an intramural All-American.
Offensive whistle, Brandsma to the floor. He is fouled on some control issues for Rector. Shane Rector the foul. Justin Gray, who picked up his third just a moment ago, checked out and checks right back in.
Chris Beard is just, it feels like the turnstile, but he's just trying to get a minute here, a minute there, and Brandsma comes in, takes the charge. And Temple comes in, gets a layup. Now he gets his starters back into the game. You hear him calling out 1, 2. He's calling out the passes. He wants that ball moved.
Yeah, coach is letting them know where they're at on the pass count. Justin Gray grabs an offensive rebound.
You hear him saying 3 passes, 3 passes. It's like the movie Hoosiers.
Yep. Screaming him out. 14 is the call. The foul, Jalen Moore. Third foul.
And Jalen Moore has 6 in the second half. But they haven't been the explosive 6. We just saw that turnaround fadeaway. And 3 threes in the first half. And got put on a little bit of ice with foul trouble. That's his 3rd personal foul.
Livingston to the line. Hits the first. Triple Crown Sports, proud to produce the Cancun Challenge. Whatever your game, basketball, baseball, softball, volleyball, treat your team right with destination locations, signature memories, and professional staff. Get in the game at triplecrownsports.com. Anthony Livingston, who transferred from Arkansas State, playing his first year at Texas Tech. Livingston, a new high for his time at Texas Tech. Adding on to that now, 19 points. His previous best this season was 16, putting up new numbers. And
Chris Beard making offense to defense subs. Does he bring Brandsma back in the game? Trying to protect Livingston, who has 3 personal fouls. Plus, you mentioned Brandsma, that kind of that ultimate glue guy, can guard a couple positions. Let's pick up a cheap foul.
Yeah. Gore Barnaba was working down low, and Brandsma fouled him.
And as much as Brandsma, you love his energy, that's not a smart foul. Barnaba's a good shooter, but it's not just about being a good shooter. This allows Utah State to score without the clock moving. Again, here's the offensive defense sub. And Livingston coming back in.
Livingston in. There goes Brandsma. The first foul for him. Earned his undergraduate degree in August of this year. Congratulations on that undergrad degree. Thomas Brandsma pursuing his grad degree now. Barnaba left the point. A couple of points out there. Missed the front end. Each team into the single bonus now with under 5 minutes to go. 8 fouls committed by Texas Tech. 7 committed by Utah State. Livingston got the 3. What hasn't he done tonight?
Well, that's all created from Zach Smith. And you heard Chris Beard calling out the passes, and once he got the 4 passes, Zach Smith goes on an ISO against, he's got a mismatch, you have to help, and Livingston's man helps, that's who gets the 3.
Second assist of the night for Smith with his 21 points. Now a team high 22 for Livingston with 3 threes in there. Jalen Moore no good. Livingston the rebound. Coach Beard calling for horns. Thomas dribbling. Finds a seam and scores.
Utah State's bigs are so limited laterally. They've just been attacked continually by Texas Tech.
Devin Thomas, the senior. Somebody that Coach Beard says, guy we're counting on. Earned their respect with his work ethic. Did Devin Thomas, the new coaching staff, left in his hands on that possession. He's got it again after the shot missed by Utah State. Little dribbling clinic at midcourt. (65-50). Texas Tech is pulling away after Utah State took command early. Livingston again. Yep, again. Took the shot clock down to 4 seconds and then got a 3 out of Anthony Livingston.
from down 12 to up 18. That's what's happened here in the consolation game. Anthony Livingston, see the three, be the three. One more time, different shot, same result. Aggies trailing by a million.
Texas Tech, a 2-point loss last night, narrowly missed their chance at the championship game, and they are rolling tonight against Utah State, up by 18. Action from the hardwood continues all night on CBS Sports Network. Great Alaska Shootout gets underway. Buffalo, Alaska, Anchorage at 11 o'clock Eastern, followed by Oakland, Nevada at 1:30. Another doubleheader from the last frontier tomorrow night, only on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. There's that Great Alaska Shootout bracket ready to roll. See that here on CBS Sports Network.
Get a chance to see Cameron Oliver, star center for the Nevada Wolfpack. Eric Musselman in his second year there, hoping to get Nevada back to the NCAA tournament, where when they were a member of the WAC, they were a dominant team. They too have struggled with rising in levels from low mid-major to the Mountain West level.
Ball rolls around and down and fouled, and Anthony Livingston's going to get a chance to tack on to his point total. That'll be his 8th rebound, plus his 25 points. Livingston, and good reset a moment ago, Doug, when you mentioned the absence of Aaron Ross, the redshirt senior, who's not suited up tonight. Purdue fans making their way into the building, getting ready for that championship game coming up about 30 minutes after this one ends. Purdue and Auburn in our championship game. So Aaron Ross not there tonight for Texas Tech, and that's something for Coach going into this game after the way last night went and this early season establishment of the new staff. What is tonight for Chris Beard?
Oh, I think for both the past two nights, he knows that this team, like Texas Tech, is not, should not have been in the NCAA tournament last year based upon their talent alone. But they had a good culture established by Tubby Smith, and they got good, tough kids. They've only added to that with the players that Chris Beard has brought in. And I think from considering how poorly they played in the first half last night and how close they came to a comeback win against Auburn, to how poorly they played at times in the first half and were just outclassed by Utah State, to this dominating performance to Anthony Livingston, another three. I think you find out who you can count on. You find out who can pick themselves up and make sure they get a win. This is doesn't really matter as much where Utah State finishes. This is a big win for Texas Tech.
5th three of the night for Livingston. Shot and missed by Dargenton. Jalen Moore takes it away. 5 threes on 9 tries for Anthony Livingston, and up to 28 points. Slash, no good. Livingston rebounded it and then traveled. That's the 9th board of the night for Livingston. 1 board away from a double-double. Texas Tech, they will play Idaho State on Friday. That's their next game up. They played Eastern Kentucky right before they came here. Eastern Kentucky shared the charter down here with Texas Tech. Then Idaho State's going to share the charter back home with Texas Tech.
It's weird. And remember, Idaho State playing without their one of their stars, and Ethan Telfair. They left home.
Front rim clang off, no good for Moore. The clock now winding down on a Texas Tech win. This win will move Texas Tech to 4-1 on the season. Utah State will be 3-2. They came into Cancun without a loss. They were 3-0. Utah State's going to take a couple of losses here south of the border. Foul, and talking about, not going to call that intentional, a shirt grab.
And Utah State, of course, has an in-state battle with BYU upcoming next. If you haven't seen the Cougs play, boy, they are fun. I think this is a BYU team that for the next couple of years will not only be fighting for a WCC championship, but also will be in the NCAA tournament consistently, with Eric Mika back off mission, and Tyler Haas as well back off mission. That's a tough challenge for Utah State going against BYU, who feels like they're finally back where they should be.
3rd foul for Kobe McEwen has the free throw line. That sub in by Matthew Temple. Anthony Livingston left to a big round of applause. He'll end up 1 rebound shy of a double-double. 28 and 9 tonight for Livingston. Evans drops it. Millinghouse checks in. He'll replace Devin Thomas. Nope, they're going to leave Thomas and ask Justin Gray to leave the floor. That BYU game for Utah State, that's a week from today. They have basically a week off, a little Thanksgiving break. 1 week from today is when they'll take on
Let me
BYU.
correct myself. It's T.J. Hawes, not Tyler Hawes. There's too many Hawes that have played and started at BYU who's back from his mission to play with Nick Emery. But anyway, yeah, like BYU that's a good team.
The Utah State is going to get the RPI benefit of having played a Big 12 team. They're going to lose to Texas Tech. And our next game, Auburn, happy that they're able to get that game against Purdue because that's going to give them the Big 10 RPI barometer from that matchup. So these teams smartly adding this event to their calendars this year. A good mix of conference foes down here in Cancun. Auburn fans feeling good. They're 4-0 heading into this championship game tonight. Going to take their shot at Purdue.
Yeah, man, look, if you get one win, you feel good about it. Obviously, if you get two, you feel great. Norbert Janicek, who had a tough night last night trying to match with Isaac Haas inside, has shown glimpses. I mean, the big challenge for these Utah State big players like Janicek is lateral movement. You know, in the low post, traditional post defense against like-sized players, they're plenty good enough. But you get against some of the athletes you've seen here at a little bit higher level, like a Zach Smith, and they've struggled to cover.
Devin Thomas tonight for Texas Tech. He's got the ball right now. He matches his season high with 5 assists in this game, setting up numerous buckets for Texas Tech. They're going to win it going away. 73-51 the score, getting down to a half-minute left now. Long try for Temple, no good. Brandsma tipped it. Temple tipped it. Thomas grabbed it. Ticking down. Texas Tech, a good win over Utah State, dominating from the late portion of the first half and all of the second half.
Well, it looks like a 22-point win. You're like, wow, that's a great win. They tipped to finish. No, they were down 12. Jalen Moore was on fire. They couldn't seem to struggle to find a lineup. Aaron Ross is missing the game. How about the grit of the Red Raiders? Keenan Evans with the dagger to finish the job.
Making a clock adjustment there. Keenan Evans knocks it down to cap off that last possession for Texas Tech. Evans now with 6 points after that conversion. 75-51, making sure the clock is right. It's got 3.3 seconds left on it. We'll finish it off here in the third place game, and then the championship is queued up next. Chris Beard. Well, it's always nicer to pack your bags to leave an all-inclusive resort when you've got a W in the ledger. Justin Gray hanging out with Coach. Aggies inbound it. And Utah State will go home from Cancun without getting one down here. 3-2 on the year. Texas Tech now 4-1. Championship game is due up next. Texas Tech takes third place in the Cancun Challenge with a 24-point win over Utah State.
That's coaching. Tim Duryea is a good coach. And his team was outplaying Texas Tech. But for the second consecutive night, Texas Tech went back, regrouped in the locker room, and showed the toughness of a coach that took his team to 30 wins last year and an upset of Purdue in the NCAA tournament, and a team in Texas Tech, the players he's taken over, that found a way to get to the NCAA tournament, something they had not done in 9 previous seasons.
And well illustrated by you, the 3-pass discipline by Coach Beard, saying, hey, we're going to learn some things and do it right, and it turns into a win. Auburn and Purdue will be featured in about 30 minutes. We'll come back and wrap up this Texas Tech win. Guns up for the Red Raiders in Cancun.